Hello everybody, this is Eddie Gabor, owner of Key Advisors Group. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for up-to-date videos in regards to our market calls, as well as how we're positioned for clients and some of the things that we're looking to do moving forward to try to educate you and help you make the right decision for you and your family. Today I want to talk about cryptocurrency. We've had one heck of a bear market bounce, at least that's what I'm calling it, as a bear market bounce over the last couple of weeks in the markets. And crypto has been one of the biggest benefactors of this rally. And I think this quarter is going to be a true test for crypto. First, I want to say that I am one that actually thinks crypto is a legitimate asset class. I do think it's the most aggressive and most volatile asset class, which I think sometimes is controversial because some people think that it's not. And the other thing is that really, I think, separates me from many is some think that crypto is not correlated to the market. I do not believe that right now. It hasn't proved me wrong yet, so we have to wait and see. And the reason why I say this is going to be a true test for crypto is right now we believe we are coming up on one of the toughest quarters for comps in modern history. We're going to be going from one of the best second quarters, which was last year, to one of the fastest slowdown quarters from a mathematical perspective in history. That's our opinion. We'll have to wait and see if we're right or not. And so if we're right, that means that we believe that the equity markets could potentially test and go below the lows that we saw in March. And if that happens, I would certainly expect crypto to take one of the biggest hits out of all the asset classes, just simply because of how volatile that asset class is. So here's the golden opportunity for those that continue to pound the table that say crypto is a non-correlated asset. And the only way to really make me a believer that that is potential for this year is for it to survive this upcoming quarter. If our market thesis is correct and we get a material slowdown economically while the Federal Reserve is tightening monetary policy, while earnings growth is muted from an earnings perspective, and while we have inflation at a pretty high level based on where we've been the last 20 years, that's going to be a true test for that asset class. I would expect your highest beta or your highest risk assets to take the biggest hit over the coming months. And if that's the case, that would mean crypto would be front and center as one of the most aggressive asset classes to own with the highest volatility. So if you're a crypto holder and you had that as part of your asset allocation, you've seen an amazing bounce. And only you can answer this question. Do you think this bounce has legs? And more importantly, do you think it's a non-correlated asset? If it was a non-correlated asset, I would think that would be a wonderful way to be positioned going into the second quarter, is potentially having some exposure here to stay diversified if you have the right risk tolerance for that type of asset. But again, I believe that crypto is not only correlated to the markets, but correlated even more than a factor of one. So what I mean by that is if the market drops by 10%, we'll say, I would expect cryptocurrencies to take a much bigger hit than that. Because again, it goes back to looking at the volatility we've had. All you have to do is go look at the last major drops we've had in the equity markets and take a look at what cryptocurrency did during those same time periods. Many times you will see they not only correct, but they'll correct more than the broader markets. Now, there is an argument that says as this becomes more and more adopted and used by more and more countries and more companies and more people, that you will start to see that volatility come down and then potentially become a non-correlated asset. I just don't think we're there yet. So again, this second quarter, in my opinion, is going to be extremely critical for those that claim that it's a non-correlated asset, because in my opinion, it's going to have an opportunity to really shine and be non-correlated, or it's going to go right back to where I think it's going to go, which is back into a correction territory after it's gone to its recent highs. But then again, as we all know, this is our opinion based on the research that we read and those that we respect their research that we put a lot of weight on. But again, this next quarter will prove us either right or wrong, not only on the economy, but also on the stock market itself, because we've been very vocal in saying that we think the market's going to test its lows. So, as they say, you're only as good as your last call, so we'll have to wait and see. But again, I just want you to take a step back and think about where we came from and where we are now. I believe the government has helped form one of the largest bubbles in modern day history with loose monetary policy. And now they're trying to get us to get off of that drug of free money by raising interest rates and stop buying our bonds. So they are tightening at a pretty fast rate, and it's going to be one of the biggest tests that the markets and cryptocurrency has had in recent memory. Again, this is my opinion. We'll see if we're right. So I guess call that your cautionary warning for today. Is just because an asset has had a heck of a bounce doesn't mean that it can't test its lows. And that's our stance right now, because we still believe this is a bear market rally and not the start of a short-term bull market. And when our opinion changes, I'll be sure to shoot a video that day to let you know that we're pivoting from more of a defensive position to more of a risk-on position. But for right now, we want to sit on the sidelines and wait and see how things unfold here in one of the most challenging quarters that I've seen as a setup in my 24-year career. So with that being said, I hope you got value out of today's video. And more importantly, I hope it gives you information for you to be able to sit down with your family and make the right decision for what you think is best for you. Have a great day, have a great week, and I'll be speaking to you soon. Thank you.